Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Welcome back to part 3 of the amazing series that we have been doing the past 2 weeks. We are talking about how weight loss and health has impacted our bodies, minds, and spirits. It is important to note and to recognize that you can't have one without the other. Our bodies, minds, and spirits share each other's diseases, and when one is sick, it impacts all of them. When I struggled with my weight and I was at 250 pounds, it was an outward reflection on what was happening on the inside, on the anxiety and the depression that I struggled with. One didn't cause the other, but they all intertwined. And today we're going to talk about something that not a lot of health coaches talk about. And it is something I believe it's impossible to talk about our weight loss journey without talking about the spirit. But whether you're a person of faith or whether you're not, I think you're going to get something from this program today. So welcome, Coach Darcy. It's good to see you today. Are you ready to talk about this?
Hello. I am. I really am. I'm excited about it because I said I was excited about the last one.
Yeah, you
And
said it
then
was
I
your
thought,
favorite.
yeah, but I feel like,
Yeah.
that this might be one of my top favorites.
This one just is going to glue the other two together, I
It
think,
does.
because we each have our own story,
Yeah.
and our weight loss journey was a physical one, right? It was also an emotional one. We changed in our minds. We changed for me, the depression left, the anxiety left. I was able to see clearly. But our spirits also changed. And you and I both have a story
Mhm.
behind this one that I think will kind of give an example as to what we're talking about today. And then we're going to also talk to the people who maybe don't have a faith or don't hold a faith, because everybody has a spirit. We all have this, this inside thing that, it's just important to talk about. And weight loss did impact my spirit. I am just a full disclosure. I am a person of faith. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, and so that's where my background comes from. And so that's where my perspective is going to come from. But I encourage you just to maybe dare yourself to think just a little bit deeper, because if you're going through the weight loss journey, this will impact you. It impacts all of us, human beings. So, Darcy, do you want to start with your story on how your spirit was impacted through your weight loss journey?
Yeah. It kind of goes based off of the last series that we talked about the mind. It plays along with that pretty well. As I had the lack of confidence because I didn't feel like I was intelligent enough, lack of confidence, all that sort, I just lived my life as I'm going to go into my young mom days and constantly trying to find purpose, feeling purpose in the household, finding my purpose in the world. And I didn't really have it because I had this giant log I was hiding under. Was not, I seemed like I was okay, but I had also, not only was I hiding under a log, I was also having layers and layers of different types of masks on. For whatever situation I was in, I was able to make it seem like I was okay. I always felt like I had to defend myself for my beliefs. And when somebody disagreed with me, I felt like they were calling me stupid. And that was just more honest. It was an interpersonal issue. And I didn't know that up front. But then as I was uncovering these layers over my weight loss, I joined this program. And not just this program, but I helped work. I started working for Monica. I started being a part of it. And I remember her asking me, well, what is your passion? Like, what are you passionate about? And I couldn't tell her because I didn't really know what that even meant. And I didn't really have a purpose other than I was creative, and I didn't know who I was, even though if anybody else understands what Enneagram is, I'm Enneagram number 4, and I'm very deep into my emotions because that's who I am. And I, I just, as I was going on and I was watching people's lives change and I was seeing my own life change, I was seeing this beam of hope and like this beam of excitement for other people's journey. And as they were changing and as they were seeing that light that we talk about, as my mental clarity started to transform, I knew that I wanted to help people. I didn't know who I wanted to help. I didn't know who my niche clientele would be. But as I was working more and more, I understood who that was. And in fact, I remember she just gave a talk a couple weeks ago about in front of women that she said she'd never go and teach speak at her church. And in fact, that's kind of what we tell God that we're not going to do when we put our boundaries up and we tell him we're not going to do this. And I feel like we have a lot of boundaries when we have things in front of us, like weight, lack of confidence, lack of just being able to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a moment where I told God that. I'm like, he told me one time, I'm gonna have you go work with the youth. And I said, you're crazy. I'm not gonna do that. And then kept giving me some signs over and over and over saying, no, I want you to go work with the youth. And the only thing that was stopping me beforehand was that I was overweight. And that was the bottom of the barrel. And once I lost my weight, I didn't have any more excuses standing in front of me because I gave it all to God. I said, "This is all yours." And he said, "Okay, well now I'm ready. You're gonna go hang out with the youth." And so I did. I listened. And then after that, I'm starting to see a purpose of, okay, I didn't really understand why I was joining the youth, but he put me in that place with the type of girls for a reason, and I saw that. Um, and then the mental clarity part, I'll finish up with this is several times God gave me this opportunity to speak and tell my story. And I didn't think that I had much of a story to tell, but everybody has a story and everybody's story matters and every story will impact at least one person. And
Mm-hmm.
that one person is probably the most important one person that there is because that is your job. So because of all this, and because I was mentally clearer in my head, I dove deeper into following what God was telling me to do, and I listened, and I did it, and I stepped outside of my comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, well, I have nothing else hiding me. I don't, it's like that big old fluffy blanket that you try to cover yourself up, your midsection up, but when you're sitting in a chair because you don't want the rolls to to flop over, you know, since that stuff was all gone and I was exposed, I'm like, well, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Use me the way you need to. Does that mean I understand 100% what my purpose is? No, because I'm still learning and this is a new zone for me. But being able to step out and have this undefining joy flowing through me, I think is an impact.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps me do the things that I know that God is calling me to do
Mm-hmm.
as his disciple.
Yeah. And Darcy, I think a lot of people are like, well, I understand what you're saying, Darcy, but what do you mean what do you mean when you say the word spirit?
Mm,
How is that defined between your emotions and your spirit?
yeah.
the person's spirit is the non-physical, and I'm getting the definition from the APA.org, but that they define that as the non-physical part of a person, the
Hmm.
mental, moral, emotional characteristics that make up the core of someone's identity. It's a
Yeah.
unique blend of resilience and optimism. So it's the things that you can't put your finger on, and that kind of bleeds over to my story of nothing in my spirit. And I have heard this happen just a couple of times with our clients, where they're like, Monica, I don't know what's happening, but I'm not feeling anything. So I'm a very feely person. I feel things. I sense things. I am a very discerning person. When I lost about 60 pounds, that was gone. It disappeared, and it was like there was nothing inside of me. And it was very scary. It was a very scary part of my journey. I don't know if everyone experiences this. I don't know if it was normal. It's my truth, and that's what happened in my body. But I remember thinking, well, first of all, I'm a person of faith. Did I lose my salvation? Because I had no joy, I had no anger, I couldn't cry, I couldn't laugh, and that was with me for about 6 months. And then one day I went to a concert with my friend, and they were in the middle of singing. It was a Christian concert, and they were singing about joy. And I remember sitting in my chair, and if you can picture a teacup full of tea with just somebody pouring more and more tea into it, that's what happened, but it was joy. And you said
Mm.
it beautifully. It's like the joy came back.
Yeah.
And I had none of that before. I was
Yeah.
full of anxiety, was full of depression, and it was just like, and I always wonder, as the person of faith, did God want to remove everything in me so he could put and recreate, because I wasn't coaching at the time.
Right.
Um, so he could have a blank slate to work with and fill me with a joy and fill me with my purpose so that I could go impact the lives of people. I don't know what his plan was with that, but for me, that was the spiritual side. Yeah, I got more confidence, and those things are unspoken and unseen. I did get that, but the joy that I had after just that one experience of mine, and it doesn't happen like that to everybody. I would love if you've been through this journey. I would love to hear stories of how your spirit was impacted, because I
Mm.
think that's kind of not a science experiment, but that is just really fascinating to me, because I've just got
Right.
mine and I don't understand it. I
Right.
don't understand what God was doing. But our spirits, like, are the seat of our emotions. It's the seat of everything, of our physical being, of everything. It's where we get our character from. It's where we get our joy, all of our emotions. It is like, it's everything. And so I would love to hear from our audience, what is it that was impacted, when your physical body started to change? What did you experience when it came to your emotions and to your spirit? Did you go through something like that? Um, so that was kind of my story of how this impacted me. It was kind of the last piece of the puzzle, because it really was the last for me. It was like God just kind of put this last piece of the puzzle in and made everything clear to me.
I think God puts us in because he's shown it in the Bible several times where he sends people to the caves and he sends people in the deserts. And usually when you're in the desert and you're in a cave by yourself, there's the only thing you can do is quiet your mind and be able to listen. And it just took the moment of our lives were so busy and chaotic,
Hmm.
and they are busy and chaotic. We are in a society, in a modern society where we're teaching our youngsters to, have a consistent busyness, stress, anxiety flow every single day, every single moment. And there's no room for quiet. There's no room to be able to sit in the desert with nothing around you, sitting in a cave with just the darkness and being able to be quiet
Yeah, it
and
was
listen.
Elijah. It was
It was a lie.
Elijah that,
Mm-hmm.
remember, he was sitting by the stream. He had been through so much. He was exhausted.
David was all,
Yeah,
David. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, God, I can't do anything. I am completely helpless. And God, he didn't see God at all. He didn't feel God at all. He wasn't in the wind. He wasn't in, all of these things. And God just
Yeah.
said, you know what? I want you to relax. I want you to
Yes.
sleep. He fed
Yeah.
him and he made him sleep. That's what
Hmm.
he did.
Yeah.
And there is a time that you just got to do that in
It
your
was in the
journey,
whisper. And
in the whisper. Uh-uh.
you can't hear when when you have constant noise around
Mm-mm.
you.
No.
You have to sit in silence to be able to hear that whisper,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So th- for me, once I laid all of that stuff, I have a very similar, it's amazing how our stories kind of like align with that. Like that was before 2020. I laid all of the crumminess at the foot of the cross. And I remember praying like, God, just make me be able to feel, let me be able to have emotions. I want them because I had so many layers, so many built up um, walls around my heart. I didn't have feeling in there anymore. And then once I did that, it was amazing because I could literally feel my heart grow like the Grinch's that day. And it thumped out of my chest for the first time, and tears flowed out of my eyes for the first time in years. And once I was able to just let go, that was when I was able to, let God speak to my soul. And I love how our pastor says it. When you don't really understand something, but you know it's from God, you just know it in your knower. I think that knower is your soul. Like you just know it deep down inside that God is moving you in a direction, and that's when he's telling you to move how he wants you to be moved. If you have it on your heart and he's telling you to do something, and you have a feeling that you need to do something, like paying it forward to somebody in front of the grocery line, or you know whatever that have you, like in your knower, like that is from God. Like that's got to be from God. um I'm not saying that it is because I'm not God.
Yeah.
But
Well,
in your knower.
and I just want to encourage our listeners today that, you may not be in a place of faith, but you have a place of silence. And so when you go through your health journey, don't forget about the spiritual side, even if you don't think you have one. Let yourself feel things. Let yourself go through these feelings that you have, or these situations, or these, we talked a couple weeks ago about our marriages, about our friendships. Things are going to change in your journey. You are not going to be the same person that you were when you started. You're not going to have the same friends you were when you started. You're not going to have the same feelings. You're not going to have the same body. And so we want to encourage you through the Body, Mind, and Spirit series. Let yourself go through every single one of them. Let yourself feel, let yourself be silent, let yourself go through the thoughts and the process. Let yourself break down those brain waves and those, the mind clutter that you've had for all of these years. Let yourself be daring enough to let yourself change. And it may be into a person that you don't even understand. Let yourself be flexible enough to step outside of your body and realize that you could be a completely different person when this is over. Body, mind, and spirit. If only your body changes, which is the problem, I'm going to get on the soapbox. The problem about the weight loss shots, they change one thing. They change their body. They don't let their mind or their spirit change. And that's why the weight comes raging back, because they're not healed. Their brain has not healed as fast as their body. So their body doesn't ultimately heal. And it's just like this flash flood of change. And then their brain says, well, I need to catch up with the body, and you're off the medication, the weight starts coming back. You don't have time to heal wholly. And so, whether you're a person of faith, you do have a spirit and you do have emotions. Let yourself heal even through the ugly.
Yeah. Because we will continue to be in that hamster wheel as you
Mhm.
talk about. And that's not where you want to be. You want to get out of that hamster wheel that you just
Mhm.
keep getting into, and the cycles that you
Mhm.
constantly keep visiting. And
Mhm. You'll always be
maybe,
sick if you
yeah,
don't heal the mind.
exactly. But
Yep.
let's talk about like the one other thing that I mean, even if you are or are not somebody of faith, just the power of groups will help. I see the spirit as the helper, and I see that as a group of people helping you through. this time. So don't do it by yourself. We're telling you to go into a desert and a cave too, but also being able to have the balance of going to a group of people that are like-minded, that will encourage you, that will help feed that spirit inside to keep going and to stop falling into that hamster wheel that you in the cycle that you constantly go back to because
Mhm.
you keep maybe having self-sabotage because you're not willing to give up these past traumatic situations possibly or
We like
um
to nurse our hurts. I've heard a
yes.
pastor talk about that. I think there was a sermon
Yes.
title, but we like that. We
Yeah.
like to sit in our depression
Yeah.
sometimes.
Hmm.
And that's going to offend somebody, but we do. We would rather sit in our depression than understand that, hey, my mind's healing. And so if we continue to hold on to those hurts and those traumas, there's a time, folks, you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to let it go and let yourself heal. When you let yourself heal, how many lives could you change? You know, your own life, number one, but how many other lives could you say, you know what?
Yeah.
I noticed something different about you. I don't know what it is that's different about you, but something has changed. And then you can share your story,
Yeah.
right? But
Yep.
we like to sit in our trauma. We hold them like a pacifier. We don't want to get healed from them because if we get healed from them, then we might actually have to change.
It will be out of our comfort zone. We don't want to
Yeah,
do that.
people find pleasure in pain.
Hmm.
They would rather hold on to their pain because you get really uncomfortable when you're healed
Yeah.
because it's not normal. It's not normal to be healed. We've lived with pain for our whole lives. And so we'd rather sit there and hold that for a while. It's time to let it
It's
go, folks.
yeah. It's kind of like the pains that we are making a normalizing in our
Hmm.
body that
Hmm.
shouldn't be. And then once it's gone, you're like, wow, like I didn't realize I was hurting that much because I
Hmm.
was just normalizing that pain that
Hmm.
happened every day. And when it's taken away, it's like a freedom of
Hmm.
wow. So
Yeah. So let it go. That's the
let it
moral
go.
of today's
Yeah.
story. Go
I'm not
through
gonna sing
every
it.
process. Let it go. Yes, you could totally
No,
sing
I
it.
said I'm
We
not gonna
might get
sing
it.
it.
We might get a copyright,
We
thing.
get kicked off the podcast.
Go through every step, guys
Yeah.
and girls. Go through every step. Your body is healing. Your mind is healing. Let your soul heal as well. And when you do that, you are going to be ready to change the life of people. And then you're going to contact us and you're going to say, hey, I want to be a coach. Would you certify me? And we'll say, absolutely, we will.
Yes. Yes.
Did
We
you know
need
we do
more
that, y'all?
people. Yeah.
Did you know we
Yay.
certify ketogenic coaches? Yeah. That's a fun thing that we're doing because you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of people are like, well, Monica, you own a coaching company and now you own a certification company and and you are certifying all of these ketogenic coaches. Don't you fear that you're going to lose money doing that? Don't you fear somebody's going to take your job? We need
No.
help, y'all. I love how
What?
Dr. Mindy says she cannot speak to everybody she needs to speak to. And so she needs us coaches to step up and share our story with somebody else so that we can help more people.
Yeah.
We're living in a very, very sick society and people need us and they need our help. And no, I'm not threatened. No one can tell your story but you. No
We
one
need a
can tell my
movement.
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
We
need a
need a
health
movement.
movement
Hmm.
to
And
take the health care out of the hands of doctors and put it in the laps of people who could heal their own bodies.
hmm. Yep.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
That was, what do you guys think? Would you send us an email? Send it to admin at ketomomcoaching.com. But what did you think about this? I hope that's a real email. I think it is because I think I pay for it every month.
I've never heard of that one
Yeah.
before.
I mean, you can send it to Darcy at
Maybe I should.
ketomomcoaching.com or Monica at ketomomcoaching. One of those are going to get you to
Oh,
us. You can go to
goodness.
our website but I want to know what you thought.
Yeah.
Did this series help you? Do you want more of this? Do you want more of the goofy stuff? Do you want more of the serious stuff? What do you want? What do you want from us? So that was the
That's
conclusion.
a scary question to ask
It is very
about a
scary.
lot of people.
Very scary.
That makes me want to take back what my email was that you just shared with everybody.
Oh gosh. So y'all, how are you doing? How's your health going? Are you changing your life? Do you need help? Because if you need help, these coaches are standing by ready to help you. We have a 3-month program that is our signature program that will take you from being very unhealthy to be in ketosis. Typically, what is it? They lose about 25 pounds
Yeah, 15
in
to
those 15 to
25.
20 in those 3 months.
Yeah,
But biggest thing is we teach you how to take back your life. So
unless
if
you're a
you,
man.
yeah, then you lose in 2 days.
Then you're
You have all the women mad at you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a hot mess.
Can't even.
So, we want to conclude our session today. We believe that our bodies, minds, and spirits are connected. And when one is sick, it impacts all of them. So, let yourself heal. Let yourself go through the process. Start your physical training, start your physical journey, and then be open to the emotional part and then be open to the spiritual part. Any last words, coach?
Yeah, be okay with being out of your comfort zone.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a good place to be.
Absolutely. And as I spoke to 300 women this week at our church, I can just tell you, you never know what doors God is opening for you to share
Mm-hmm.
your story.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready to be
Yep.
uncomfortable, y'all.
Yep.
All right, we'll be back next Tuesday with a brand new season, brand new series. We kind of like doing the series because we get to talk about all of the things and not just shove it into one show.
Right.
So we like that. But we'll be back next Tuesday. You guys enjoy your summer, enjoy the rest of the day that you've got, and be blessed.
Bye.